no corresponding national sample surveys at all to determine what's happening to the nutritional levels of the people. In other words, what was actually already a deteriorating situation during a period that neoliberalism had not got into a crisis has become infinitely worse in the period that neoliberalism has been witnessing a crisis. And that is symptomatic of the fact that imperialism or hegemony of imperialism, which is what neoliberalism implies, necessarily worsens the conditions of the domestic working people, including the peasants and agricultural laborers.
ఈ విధానాలు వీటి వల్ల అభివృద్ధి గురించి చాలా మాటలు వింటూ ఉంటాం కాబట్టి ఒక చిన్న వివరం మటుకు మనం చెప్పుకుందాం. దరిద్రం అనే దాన్ని ఎప్పుడు పౌష్టికాహారంతో దీంతో పోలుస్తూ ఉంటారు. 1993-94లో మొట్టమొదటిసారిగా ఈ విధానాలు మొదలైనప్పుడు పట్టణ ప్రాంతాల్లో సాధారణంగా 2100 క్యాలరీల ఆహారము, పల్లెటూళ్ళలో 2200 క్యాలరీల ఆహారం ఉంటే దాన్ని పౌష్టికాహారం కింద పరిగణిస్తారు. ఈ సంఖ్య 1993-94లో ఉన్నదాన్ని మళ్ళీ 2011లో తీసినటువంటి లెక్కలతో కనుక పోలిస్తే అది ఒక్కొక్కటి కూడా 10% పెరిగింది. ఇది లేని వాళ్ళ సంఖ్య.
No, no, 58, 60. Yes, 60. Yeah, 58 to 68. And for the urban, 57 to 65.
దట్ ఈస్ అంటే పట్టణ ప్రాంతాల్లో 57% ఉన్నది 68% వచ్చింది. 10% పైన సరైనటువంటి ఆహారం లేని వాళ్ళ సంఖ్య పెరిగింది. మళ్ళీ ఆ తర్వాత ఒక 10 ఏళ్ల తర్వాత తీసినటువంటి ఎన్ఎస్ఎస్ లెక్కల్లో చూస్తే ఇంకా ఒక 9% ఈ సరైన ఆహారం లేని వాళ్ళ సంఖ్య పెరిగింది. అంటే ఈ విధానాలు అనేవి అనివార్యంగా కష్టజీవులు, కార్మికులు వీళ్ళ యొక్క జీవన స్థితిగతులను, శ్రమజీవుల జీవన స్థితిగతులను దెబ్బతీస్తాయని చెప్పడానికి ఈ పౌష్టికాహారం దిగజారడానికి సంబంధించినటువంటి లెక్కే మనకు చాలా స్పష్టంగా చెప్తుంది.
But even though the impact of neoliberalism is already visible, an economy like India is one where peasant agriculture is still not fully commoditized. It is still the case that there is government price support which is against the full commoditization of agriculture. It is still the case that there is a public distribution system. It is still the case that there is procurement from the farmers in order to feed the public distribution system. It is still the case that because of this procurement, there is a certain insistence on food self-sufficiency. You can't run a public distribution system if you don't grow enough food. Africa gave up food self-sufficiency because of neoliberalism. And having given up, you can see in Africa the incidence of famines. Many of you would have seen pictures of famished children. And those pictures are of a period when Africa had given up food self-sufficiency, and therefore you actually had a recurrence of famines. In India, fortunately till now, food self-sufficiency is still not given up as a target. You still have a situation in which there is procurement and so on and price support. Therefore, commoditization of peasant agriculture has not gone to the degree that a neoliberal regime would like. It has gone sufficiently, because of which, as I mentioned, already you can see a decline in the nutritional levels of the people, but on the other hand, it still has not gone far enough. There is enormous pressure from imperialist agencies in order to push India in the direction of greater commoditization of agriculture. WTO is forever saying that India is practicing unfair practices because of the fact that it is giving too much of food subsidy. The European Union and the United States give billions of dollars of food subsidies, which are really a very high proportion of their agricultural value of their agricultural output. But they give it in the form of direct cash subsidies. In India, you can't give cash subsidies to 12 crores of farmers, and therefore it's given in the form of price support, and when it is given in the form of price support, they say, no, this is unfair practice. Enormous pressure as far as India is concerned to dismantle that entire arrangement that prevents the full commoditization of agriculture. The Modi government tried to follow some of these policies, namely, it actually brought in those 3 farm laws whose basic outcome would have been a complete commoditization of agriculture, withdraw government price support, withdraw the kind of support that food grains were getting. In cash crops, the support is already gone, which is why you have all these numerous suicides of peasants, predominantly belonging to cash crops. But in cash crops, price support has gone. But in food grains, price support still remains, and the Modi government tried to get rid of it.
ఈ ఆహార రంగం మీద, వ్యవసాయం మీద ఈ ప్రభావం అనేది ఎంత తీవ్రంగా ఉంటుందంటే తప్పకుండా అది ప్రభావం చూపిస్తుంది. ఆహార పంటలు